address by the officials of the state government. The agenda for this meet has been circulated to the Honorable Chairman and members of the Commission. Our officials are available for any information or assistance that the Commission may need during this stay here. I once again extend a warm welcome to the Commission and wish the Commission a pleasant stay in Hyderabad, the historic city known for its hospitality. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Honorable Chief Minister, first Chief Minister of the new state of Telangana, to deliver his keynote address. Thank you, sir.
Chairman of the Finance Commission, Dr. Y.V. Reddy Garu, distinguished members of the Commission, Professor Abhijit Sen, Mrs. Sushma Nath, Dr. Govind Rao, and Dr. Sudipta Mandal, Secretary and officials of the Commission. I have great pleasure in joining the Finance Minister, Sri Rajender, in extending you all a warm welcome of Telangana on behalf of the people of the state, my cabinet colleagues and the state government officials. As all of you know, the new state of Telangana has come into existence on June 2nd, 2014 after nearly 6 decades long relentless struggle, fulfilling the long cherished aspirations of the nearly 4 crore people to establish their identity and chart their own future. Fulfilling the aspirations of the people, which remained suppressed so far, is the major challenge before my government. We want to reinvent and reorient Telangana for this purpose. The institution of the Finance Commission has a formidable reputation of nurturing the spirit of cooperative fiscal federalism and successfully adjudicating the claims of the centre and states in a fair and equitable manner. We have very high hopes on the 14th Finance Commission headed by Dr. Y.V. Reddy in resolving all contentious issues in Indian fiscal federalism and heralding a new era given the imperative of empowering the states fiscally to realize the 12th five-year plan objective of faster, more inclusive and sustainable growth. Let me at the outset present to you the current states of the state. The native wisdom of harnessing the local resources for development has ended with the rule of Kakatiyas and the Asif Jahis. Telangana in the combined state has been brought out vividly in a study by the Planning Commission, which observed that balanced development of the state had become a casualty and regional imbalances went on increasing because of the lopsided policies. As indicated in our memorandum, all the committees entrusted with the task of identifying backward areas in the country by the Government of India have categorized majority of the districts in Telangana as backward. 9 out of the 10 districts in the state are covered under the Backward Regions Grant Fund, that is the BRGF. The 12th five-year plan document by the Planning Commission has categorized 2 districts in the state, namely Khammam and Mahbubnagar, as most hungry backwardness. Still haunts the state 6 decades after the formation of the combined state. 86% of the state's population belong to SC, ST and backward classes. Despite its backwardness, an erroneous impression has gained ground about the revenue potential of Hyderabad in particular and Telangana in general. As articulated in detail in our memorandum, the higher revenue collections in Hyderabad was entirely because of the practice of all major VAT dealers paying their tax in Hyderabad for sales taking place all over the state and not because of higher revenue potential. I request the Commission to appreciate the fact that the revenue potential of Telangana is quite limited as majority of the districts in the state are economically backward, and added to this, there will be erosion of tax base in the short term to medium term. While discussing in the Rajbhavan, Dr. Abhijit Sen was quoting that it is surprisingly mentioned that Hyderabad resource is not counted by the state of Telangana. So it is a fact Hyderabad has a potential. But I would like to impress upon the chairman and the members of the Finance Commission here that the IOC, which was the main source of income to the combined state of Andhra Pradesh, and the Beverages Corporation, both put together more than 11,000 crores of revenue to the commercial taxes, has now been shared by both the states, sir. That's the great loss there. I would like to appreciate the understanding of things here. In the last few years, there has been deceleration in the growth of the state economy. The growth of the economy slipped from 10.5% in the period 2005-6 to 2009-10 to 4.5% in 2012-13. The major challenge before the state government is not only to regain the growth momentum but also make it inclusive. I firmly believe that growth has no meaning and even legitimacy if the deprived sections of the society are left behind. We fully share the concern of the 12th five-year plan that inclusive growth should not only ensure a broad-based flow of benefits and economic opportunities but also encompass empowerment and participation. The initiatives taken by the government since the formation of the state in June this year have entirely been guided by these compelling imperatives. Now I will briefly touch upon the initiatives taken by the state government. The economic condition of the scheduled caste has not improved much despite several programs. We are convinced that there cannot be a better policy measure to address their poverty on a permanent footing than providing them with a permanent source of livelihood. Particularly in rural areas, we have formulated a scheme for providing 3 acres of agriculture land to landless SC women by purchasing land. The scheme was formally launched in the state on 15th August 2014. In the next phase of SC households owning less than 3 acres will be provided the balanced extent of land. The land so distributed will also provide with permanent irrigation facilities and cost of inputs for one crop year. The government is planning to provide rupees 50,000 crores for the development of SCs over the 5-year period of 2014-19. The condition of the STs is no better, and to improve their condition, 12% reservation will be provided to them in government jobs and education. People belonging to backward classes constitute the majority of the state's population, and we are determined to provide rupees 25,000 crore for their development over the next 5 years. Minorities in the state continue to suffer from several constraints. We have therefore decided to provide an amount of rupees 1,000 crores every year for their welfare. With recurrent natural calamities and rising input costs, agriculture in the state is in dire straits, driving the farmers to suicides, the incidence of which one of the highest in the country. Agriculture in Telangana, while contributing 14% to gross state domestic product, provides direct and indirect employment to over 50% of the state's population. With the neglect of tanks over the year, over 84% of the net
అనంతపురం జిల్లాలో నీటిపారుదల శాఖ అధికారులతో సమీక్ష సమావేశం అనంతరం మంత్రి దేవినేని